Winners and losers have the same goals. Goals are great and necessary, but alone don't get you there. It's all about the process, the in-between, the things you do today and every day until you reach your destination. This is the 6th part of our Business Growth series where I am taking my top growth advice from 14 years experience of running a successful marketing agency as well as working with hundreds of different businesses. And today we are talking about chasing the process, not the goal. Let's jump in. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Liquid Digital Marketing Podcast. Today we are talking about chasing the process and not the goal. This is our 6th part in this business growth series we are doing, and I'm super excited to jump into this content today. So let's do that. So chasing the process, not the goal. So what does this mean and why is it important? So I'm going to start off with a story. So let's say typical person just starts their business, it grows a little bit, that's exciting. You put more into it, you keep growing, time's passing, you're growing, you maybe have some setbacks, and then you get some more growth, and everything just kind of continues to chug along, right? And time has now passed, and this is great, right? This is the life cycle of a successful growing business. This is just how it works. The problem is the mindset of the chase. So what happens is you're consistently in the chase and you begin to have this feeling that you actually never get there. Like you're never where you want to be. You've never feel like you've won because you're just constantly growing. You're just constantly moving forward. Just like a hamster in a hamster wheel, right? You're just constantly going. So after running a business for 14 years, I've lived this, and I've also seen it in others, and it just kind of happens, right? It's one of those things that just all of a sudden you have this feeling, and you're in this mindset of like exhaustion, a little bit of where you just kind of want to give up, like you're constantly chasing it, and you're just not ever there. Here's what you can do about it. I call it chasing the process, not the goal. So step 1 is you need to create clear, defined goals for your team. These milestones, right? These are the milestones that you're working towards individually and as a team, whatever, but they're clearly defined. And then step 2, when you complete that goal, then you're naturally, right, going to raise the bar and set a new goal, as you should, right? That's the natural step 2, and this is what you've been doing. But so step 3 should probably be step 2, but before you get to work on this new goal, so you're going to set the goal, you're right, you're going to raise the bar, you're going to get it going. Step 3, before you actually get started on this new goal, you're going to stop. And you're going to celebrate the wins, the things that got you there. You're going to reflect on the process that you just went through, that your team went through. You're going to look at what didn't work, what fails, what worked, what are accomplishments, what are some of the things that happened in this time frame. And you're going to reflect back on this. Reflecting back on the process is going to help give you and your team the opportunity to appreciate the hard work and the effort, and to recognize your team for the hard work and the effort. And you and your team will be more grateful for the progress that you just achieved. So important. And I think we do this, right? I think there's times where we do this, but if you don't have that clear milestone, and those milestones might be, maybe you have the year, the 5-year, but maybe you need to set smaller milestones so you have more wins and more celebrations and more time to reflect back. Think about it from your team's perspective. If they know that once we hit this goal, we're going to reflect back and we're going to go ahead and kind of dissect the process that got us there. And I'm part of that process as the team member. I know the work I do is going to get reflected back on. It's going to get dissected. It's going to get looked at. So it's going to create a more accountability for your team members. It's going to create more excitement. So as I'm going through this process, when I have the win, I know at the end I'm going to get that celebration. I'm going to get recognized for that. So as the leader who is driving this home, you need to make sure that you do recognize these wins and the process and how it got there. What that's going to do is you're not going to be just kind of like in this forward motion always and never looking back and never like taking that moment to like recognize the win. And okay. The other benefit of chasing the process and not the goal is it puts focus on the system, the day-to-day, the items that actually get you there, right? So, I mean, goals are great for setting direction and knowing what winning and losing is, right? So that's the goal, like that's where we're going, but they don't get you there, right? It's not just because you say, hey, this is our goal, we're going to do this. That doesn't necessarily mean that's not just it. You don't just get there, right? You have to work toward it. There's the process. It's all about the process. When you start chasing the process, you're actually going to start focusing on the process. You're going to start focusing on the pieces, the steps, the day-to-day, the 1% things that happen from day to day, to week, to month, that get you there. Whether that's your efforts, whether that's your team efforts, whether that's everyone's efforts, it's the process, right? It's kind of like life, right? It's not about the destination, it's about the journey, right? Same in business. So that is focusing on the process and not the goal. Goals are important. You got to have the goal so you know where you're going, but you have to really chase the process. You have to love the process. You just got to focus on the process and you got to celebrate the process once you've hit the goal. All right, that wraps us up for this episode. Chasing the process, not the goal. I hope you found this valuable. If you did, please leave us a review. Share this with a friend who might like this content. And we'll see you in the next episode.